this video we're going to be testing out the covering power of this Bedec multi-surface paint. This is soft white gloss. My name's Stephen from Inexteriors Painters and Decorators, and you're watching Inexteriors TV. Like I just said, we're going to be testing out the covering power of this Bedec multi-surface paint, the soft gloss white. Now what we're going to be testing it over is this anthracite grey here on this door. Let me just show you that there, and I'm just going to paint one of the panels and see how many coats it takes. Right, on the tin here it says it paints almost any surface, so read the back before you use it, but it is a really good product. Now when I was glossing some woodwork, I just thought it could do with a third coat in places, so I just want to see how well it covers dark colours. Right, so let's get into this then, shall we? The paintbrush that I'm using for this is an 1.5 inch synthetic tip Hamilton Prestige paintbrush. If you would like to purchase these paintbrushes, please feel free to check out the links in the description below, and also if you're planning on doing any other decorating works, please feel free to visit my tool store. The links are in the description below. Right then, so let's get into this. I've already sanded it and dusted it. I've gave the paint a stir, so let's get the first coat on. Right, that's the first coat, and on there it seems to have covered quite well on the camera, but it also does seem to have covered quite well here too. Let me give you a close-up. Obviously we'll let that dry and then we'll put a second coat on, but the first coat seemed quite good, to be fair. I'm now going to give it its second coat. I'll let you know once it's dry. I'll do a close-up of it, of what it's like after its second coat. Right, the second coat has now dried, and you can still see the grey grinning through. And by the way, if you want to watch a little review that I did on this Bedec multi-surface gloss, there will be a video that pops up at the end of this video on an end screen. Right, let me just give you a close-up of this, just so you can see. I mean, I'm expecting it to have multiple coats, but it's just interesting to see. So this is it after its second, and you know what? It's doing alright, so let me get you have a look. So it's not pure white yet, but can you just see the grey grinning through? This is now coat number 3. So I know that's still a little grinny after coat number 3, but when it's dry again, I'll give you another close-up. But to be fair, this was what I was expecting. I would expect water-based paint to be a minimum of 4 coats over a dark colour. I mean, if I was using the Johnson's Aqua, I'd probably go 2 undercoats and 2 top coats. I mean, even an oil base would probably do 2 undercoats and a top coat, and depending on the quality of the paint, you might need 2 undercoats and 2 top coats again in oil. So yeah, so we'll come back and look at it once it's dry, and then we'll assess it and give it its 4th coat. Right, okay, after its 3rd coat, it's almost gone. It's almost solid on the face, but grinning on the mouldings in places. I mean, that could be where I never sort of put enough paint on it, but it is grinning on the mouldings in quite a few areas, but we are trying to cover the anthracite grey here. So I'm now expecting coat number 4 to do it. Let me just give you a close up of this, and then we'll give it coat number 4. Let me just show you where it's, you just see where it's grinning on the moulding. I mean, you might think 4 coats, but this is really easy to use as well. So in all fairness, that looks like it's gone and covered. I will let you have a look at it once it's dry. Right, it's now had its 4th coat, and to me it's about 85 to 90% there. It's a little bit grinny on the edges. I was expecting it to be covered a bit more, but it is a water-based paint, so what I would probably do now is the 5th coat would make it absolutely, would get it there, I'm sure of that. But at this point you could just paint the mouldings because it is a pass, it is acceptable, and let's not forget it is a white going over a dark colour. Now if this was an oil-based gloss, you would probably need to do 2 undercoats and a top coat, or if it was a oil-based eggshell, you'd probably obliterate it with the undercoat and then put 2 or 3 top coats on top of that with the eggshell. So we all know that the covering power of the water-based paints ain't quite up to what the oil-based paints are, but they are getting there. And also I've not run this type of experiment before, so I've got nothing else I can match it up against. So let me know what water-based products you've used with the best covering power and one of the best systems. Right, so what I'm going to do next time, I think, is the Johnson's Aqua Guard. And then I've got something to measure it up to. So maybe that might take 2 undercoats and 2 top coats, which wouldn't surprise me. So let me give you a look at this now, and just so you can see it and see where we are. Right. So it's not so bad, and then it's just a little bit grinny in places. I mean, that bottom bead is okay. It's just a couple of bits on the side beads there. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and take care, and see you next time.